go because it was one of the few places that didn't fear them. That's still why they come.
This year was the 50th anniversary of Sturgis, and I just had to come. It's something else. If I ever had to do anything, this was it. I was putting in cable TV in the Arlington area, and I called up my boss and I said, I really got to go to this thing. I told him I don't expect you to understand, but I really have to go to this thing. And well, he didn't understand. I don't have a job now.
This terrain hasn't changed in hundreds of years. How men ride through it has.
If we didn't have the highways, the same people probably would be exploring on a horseback.
The magic about motorcycling to me is to be able to travel around the country. It sort of reminds you maybe way back when our forefathers trekked across the country in a little primitive method. The freedom of being able to tour the back roads, see the country where you want to.
Sometimes you got to reach down inside yourself to make yourself climb that hill, whether you're on a horse or you're on a motorcycle. Maybe the motorcycle or the horse can do it, maybe you can't.
There are more than 5 million motorcycles in the United States now, and less than 4 million horses.
When you live in an urban area where people are stacked on top of each other like sardines, it's just so nice to get out and nothing but open country, like the old West kind of thing.
The country is just gorgeous up here. I would not trade America for anything in the world. It is so fabulous just to see not only what God did, but what we preserve as American heritage.
In 1868, a U.S. government treaty promised the Sioux tribes they would retain their sacred Black Hills as long as the grass shall grow and the waters flow. A few years later, gold was discovered in the area. The treaty, needless to say, quickly became history. Even the name, Sturgis, is deeply tied to the struggle over this land.
Jack Sturgis, who was a lieutenant in the 7th Cavalry, died with Custer at the Little Bighorn.
Whether they ride here on horseback or motorcycle, the Black Hills have long been sanctuary or an escape to those living outside the law. These back roads and deep woods have always been refuge for men on the run. The myth of the outlaw finds resonant ground here, whether outlaw in fact, lifestyle, or simply affectation. Their shrines are here. Kindred spirits of the past haunt the air. Deadwood, South Dakota, its checkered past remains its most marketable commodity.
Deadwood was fortunate enough to have Wild Bill Hickok shot in the number 10 saloon in 1876, and that really has been the town's claim to fame. Prostitution and brothels flourished in the town until about 1978, and so it's always maintained its Old West flavor, and the legalized gambling kind of fits in with that pretty well.
You still have to check your weapons at the door of saloon number 10. nonconformists, rebels, and downright outlaws. Their heroes may be society's villains. Their rituals may violate common law, but in their search for freedom, self-reliance, and tolerance, they embody a fundamental part of the American dream.
It's America, and I live in America, and I like to see my country, and I go all over where I can.
There's nothing like that feel to get out on the highway and go 100 miles an hour, you know. Wind in your face, and it feels good. You don't have any responsibility except you and that motorcycle.